When an emergency arises that needs quick medical attention, sometimes the best way to transport someone is via helicopter.
And the flight isn't possible without a special crew with specific training. 7 and 4's Alyssa Heron joins us live from Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City to explain how members of NorthFlight Emergency Medical Services prepare themselves for the worst case scenario. Hey Alyssa, good morning.
And Melissa, I am here with Terry Longton. He is the pilot for NorthFlight, and Luke Goodwin. He is one of the paramedics. Thanks for joining us this morning, both of you. First of all, Luke, tell me about the overall structure of NorthFlight.
NorthFlight is ground and air division plus a dispatch center. We have ambulances, we have the helicopter, we also have an airplane. We do patient transport, both 911 and interfacility transport in the state of Michigan with the helicopter and with the ambulances, and then the airplane will do anything in the continental 48, and we also go into Canada.
Okay, and right now we are actually standing in front of the helicopter. Describe when you would use this versus NorthFlight's plane.
We use the helicopter typically for scene response, anything emergent, going hospital to hospital, coming out of an emergency department, or if another ambulance service goes on a bad car accident. And then the airplane is more coming out of like an intensive care unit, going from say Marquette down to University of Michigan or something along those lines, something long distance planned. But it's all the same equipment. We can do the same job out of either one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. As we're taking a look inside right now, what type of equipment do you have in this? Is it similar to a hospital setting?
We can basically take a patient out of the ICU and everything that they're doing for the patient in the intensive care unit, we have equipment on board to do the same monitoring and therapy, any kind of treatments we can do in the helicopter or the airplane.
Okay, and how many different medical responders are on the helicopter?
Per patient, we have 2 medical providers. We have a nurse and a paramedic typically. Anytime that the aircraft goes anywhere, there's at least 2 of us.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And you know, Terry, how far does this aircraft travel?
The helicopter typically travels within a 150-mile radius of Traverse City, and it normally is twice as fast or better than an ambulance.
Okay, and you are specific to the helicopter. How many different pilots are there?
There are 4 pilots for the helicopter and 4 pilots for the airplane.
Okay, and is this ever limited with weather?
Sometimes, yes. In the wintertime, it has weather limitations. It's a visual-only aircraft, but the airplane flies in all weather.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And coming up at 6:30, we're going to take an in-depth look inside of the helicopter and tell you a little bit more about what they have to offer. All of this information and more will be on our website at UpNorthLive.com. Reporting live in Traverse City, Alyssa Heron, 7 and 4 News.
Thanks so much, Alyssa. And even though none of us want to be in that situation, to have flown somewhere, especially downstate for a big emergency, it's good to know there are trained professionals right here in our area.
Oh, it's true. I've done several stories on NorthFlight, and because we have such a vast rural area in northern Michigan, it's critical for these helicopters, and these people are so highly equipped and trained that we're lucky to have them.
Plus, I'm here live inside of the NorthFlight helicopter, where we'll be talking about how their flight crew prepares for when an emergency arises. This and more coming up after the break.
Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning, Brendan and Melissa. I am back with the flight crew here at the Cherry Capital Airport, and we have Izzy and Luke. First of all, thanks for joining us again. Luke, I want you to just tell me about the overall services that NorthFlight has to offer.
NorthFlight does both ground and air patient transport, 911 and interfacility. We're located throughout northern Michigan. The air service is based here out of Traverse City. We have a helicopter and an airplane. We do patient care flights anywhere in the state of Michigan with the helicopter and the eastern half of the Upper Peninsula. And with the airplane, we cover the continental 48, and we also go into Canada.
Okay, and we actually are standing right in front of the helicopter. What types of situations or scenarios would you use this aircraft?
The helicopter goes into remote scenes, car accidents. We also do critical care transport from hospital to hospital, out of an emergency room. We'll take patients who are having a heart attack out of, say, Alpena and bring them over into Munson.
Okay, and as we're taking a look inside, what type of medical equipment do you have in here that might be different from a hospital?
Well, I don't know that we so much have anything different. We're able to provide a continuity in care. Whatever the patient is receiving in the hospital, we're able to maintain that and continue that care throughout their transport from the hospital to the receiving hospital, from sending to receiving. And we also provide 2 critical care providers at the patient side at all times.
Okay, and as part of the flight crew, what type of training does this take?
Well, there's a requirement. We all have to have 3 to 5 years of experience in our respective fields, and there's also monthly, quarterly, and annual training that we all go through. Plus, a lot of other certifications that go along with it.
Okay, and Izzy, how many people are in the helicopter at the time while you're transporting a patient?
Doing patient care, there are 2 critical care providers and a pilot at any given time.
Okay, but to transport just one patient, it takes more than just the 3 of you inside of the helicopter. Tell me about that.
Correct. There's a number of disciplines involved, and to provide care for one patient, it takes everyone from the mechanic to the communications to EMS and first responders, the police, all the way through to a hospital setting. We're talking about, lab and pharmacy and doctors and nurses. So it involves a number of disciplines just to transfer one patient.
Okay, and not only are you taking patients, out of this area, but you're also bringing several into Munson. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Munson provides a number of specialty care, as well as it's a level 2 trauma center that we bring any number of patients in for care here.
Okay. Well, thank you both so much for joining us this morning, and all of this information and more will be on our website at UpNorthLive.com. Reporting live in Traverse City, Alyssa Heron, 7 and 4 News.
Just definitely so lucky in this region to have North Flight, all that they do. And it's because obviously the vast rural area that we have in northern Michigan, to get to an area that's 3 hours or 2 hours north, it is critical to have those, and the people who are so highly trained with those new forms of technology, it's pretty impressive.
And it's nice to see the faces of those at the ready in case something
Exactly.
happens.